Good morning and welcome back to Posse Adventures. Today I've got an exciting product to show you guys. We all go off touring and off the beaten track, and most of our vehicles carry a spare wheel for the eventuality of picking up a puncture. I know I carry a puncture repair kit as well and a compressor, all things that I think are pretty vitally important, as well as a shovel. And often if we're going anywhere a bit out of the normal, I'd carry some max tracks as well and recovery gear. So recently I was chatting with a friend of mine who has a product that he sells and brings into Australia. The manufacturer's name is Autophix Australia, and they sell vehicle scan tools. Now, those of you that know me will know that my trade is I'm a mechanic by trade. I've been in the trade since 1985, which gives me about 37 years experience by my reckoning. Over that time I've had several scanners, starting right the way back to the early 90s when you had to buy a new lead and a new pod for every single car pretty much make that you wanted to scan. It was an absolute nightmare. Since then things have progressed, and a protocol called OBD2 has come along, which at least gives us, on our domestic market anyway, a uniformed lead and connection on every vehicle from about 2001 onwards. That now means that every scan tool will plug in, but not every scan tool will read the protocols. Again, there are a few mismatches with protocols, and some scan tools simply won't work. And that can be even as much as it will work on the petrol variant but not on the diesel, which can be frustrating. Now at work we have a snap-on Modis scanner. It's a very good scanner. It's powerful, it fits most vehicles, gives you a lot of function. But these things are about $10,000, and they're not the sort of thing that you would buy to take with you on the eventuality that you may require it. You've got a lot more chance these days with modern, specifically with the diesels, but also petrols, but with modern vehicles now of having a problem when you're out and about, and certainly away from help. I had a recent experience. I had a Jeep Grand Cherokee WK2 diesel. Luckily I wasn't too far away. We were going out for the day just to the Macedon Ranges. Coming down the Calder freeway, cruising along at about 105, and all of a sudden the dashboard lit up, error codes, service transmission, service four-wheel drive system, service brakes, just the alarms were going off everywhere, robbed me of all power. I had to pull over very quickly and stop the vehicle. Luckily I had with me a OBD2 scanner, just one that goes into the port and is a Bluetooth link to your phone, which is, they're not very powerful, but it gave me the ability to be able to clear the codes, and off we went again. About another 5k's up the road, same thing, the whole dashboard lit up like a Christmas tree. There was about 60 codes in the car. Now the problem came from this, that it actually stuck me in limp mode, which means it basically put the gearbox in third gear, so I only had third gear, and robbed me of all the turbo power. So the maximum speed that I could do was about 40k's an hour, and actually where I live, which is the top of the Brisbane Ranges, we actually struggled getting up the hill with it. Now the Bluetooth scanner that I had wasn't powerful enough on the second occasion to clear the codes. They were hard codes and it wouldn't reset them. In actual fact, I had to bring the scanner from work home, plug that on to clear the codes. So immediately shows you a weakness with some scan tools, that they're just simply not powerful enough. So don't rely, if you've bought a cheap scanner off of eBay, that you think it's going to do the job. Yeah, it will give you information for sure. It may help you, but it's not a substitute for a workshop scanner. So what we're talking now is professional scanners. Okay, so I'm going to show you this device that Trevor from Dirt Road 4x4 has lent me to evaluate. Okay, so what we've got here is Autofix's 9000 model. Now this is a generic model, so will fit most vehicles. Now just for the record, I drive a Ford Ranger, and Autofix also do the 9150, which is a Ford dedicated scanner. And at some point I might see if I can poach one off of Trevor and do a review on that one. Currently, what I use for my own purposes, I actually use ForeScan, which is a program developed specifically for Fords and Mazdas, and I use that with my laptop. It gives me a huge amount of functions and things that I can do with the scan tool. I mean, I can do all sorts of things. I can change the fuel tank size, you name it, I can do it. But it is really designed for people with a bit of knowledge. It is quite time consuming to set up, and you've got to carry a laptop with you, of course. So this is a far better option for those people that maybe are a bit worried about dabbling with this sort of thing. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug this into the car, and I'm going to have a look and see what sort of power it gives us. Okay, so where do we plug this device in? Well, most cars since about 2001 will have the OBD2 socket within 30 centimeters of the steering column. Now there are a few exceptions out there, but most of them will be within 30 centimeters of the steering column. So you should be looking, it's going to be below, it's not likely to be above, but you should be looking in this area here. Now on the Fords, you take off this cover just here, just pop it off. So I have got a gauge that I use, which just gives me some extra details, which is plugged into mine currently, which is just here. So let's just unplug that and get it out of the way. And this is the socket you're looking for. Now they look the same on every car, which is OBD2 compatible. This is the standard socket that you're looking for. And as I say, any car since the early 2000s will have this on the car. So what do? We'll take the scanner, and simply put, that's the end, plug it straight in. The scanner is powered by the socket. Just going to get in the car. Okay, so there's the screen that we've got at the moment. So we need to turn the ignition on. I'm going to start it. Shut the door. Okay, so let's take a look. What have we got? So we've got OBD2. Let's have a look at battery, see what that actually does. Please turn the ignition off. So it's giving me the current voltage.
GPS fixed.
Okay. So enter to start detection. Detecting the engine's voltage is high. Please make the current voltage. Okay, so it's dropping. It's because it's got it's obviously got a little bit of surface charge there. So let's try again. Please turn the ignition on. Oh, that's quite nice. Let's just start it. Okay, so this has given us just a chart of the alternator charge. It's showing that currently I'm charging 14.3, which is good. And just basically giving us a rundown on the battery, that's all. Okay, so I'm just going to go across to OBD2. Okay, so this gives you, I'm just going to have a look. Yep, I wouldn't expect it to have any fault codes. Okay, so this is quite handy. This is giving you all of the information coming from your sensors, so air intake temperature. So for example, if you had an exhaust gas recirculation fault and the EGR valve was stuck, you would expect your intake temperature to be through the roof. 23 degrees is about right. If you look at the coolant temperature's 25 degrees, it's only just been started. Obviously if I rev it, you get to see the different position. Okay, let's just come out of that one, and you can view that as a graph as well. So let's look at coolant temperature, and let's look at intake air temperature. Okay, so you can pick 3 things, which indicates you could take this for a drive and see how they respond. So you've got engine coolant temperature showing there, you've got barometric pressure, and you've got intake air temperature. So yeah, so as you're revving it up, it's showing you the change there. So it gives you some information that, as a mechanic, it would be useful to you. It may not be to the everyday person. Now, to give you an idea what you'd probably be most interested in is when you have an issue with the car and the fault light comes on. So we would go into OBD2. You see here where it says MIL status, that's malfunction indicator light is off, there are no faults. DTCs is trouble codes in the ECU are 0, there are none. So we can go into ECU 1 and we can erase the codes, we can read the codes as well. So if there was a code in there, it would come up and you could read it. So I'm going to create a code on this car. Okay, so this is the kiddie that you don't want to be seeing when you're out and about, which is the spanner symbol C manual. Okay, well, if you do get into that and it starts to create problems with the way the car's driving, get your scanner connected onto OBD2, enter. And there you go, there's your fault code. So the fault code is P0113. There's actually 2 codes, it's one of 2. So that's intake air temperature sensor 1, circuit high, bank 1. And P0100, mass or volume airflow sensor A circuit. So there you go. Now I can tell you that the airflow meter also measures the temperature of the air. So this is indicating a problem with the airflow meter, which is all it's telling you in the second code, which is vital information. I mean, driving a car like this with this fault, it may well drive okay, but it could lead to engine detonation because you're getting the wrong metering of air. It's not going to do your car any good at all. So it is important that it's dealt with and not obviously just cleared, but you can clear the code to get you home if it's affecting. If this vehicle goes into limp mode, it'll take you an awful long time to get across the Simpson Desert. So this would enable you to keep clearing the code to get you where you want to go. Anyway, so that's that. So let's just exit out of that and say there is down here a DTC lookup. So we can go So if you were scanning it on a vehicle where it didn't give you a description, you could look up the code. Sometimes you get generic codes on there that don't always give you a description, so it's handy that that this one you can actually scan into it and put your code in yourself. Now you've also got a little eye symbol there, so let's just see what that comes up with. So if we press the eye on the display, it's telling you possible causes: P100 faulty mass airflow sensor, or intake air leaks, or dirty mass airflow sensor, or dirty mass air filter. That's just actually a dirty air filter, and I'd agree with that. Every single one of those could cause it. So that's actually very helpful. So let's go back again and have a look at the codes again, because there was another code there. And let's see what that tells you. So this one's 0113, which is intake air temperature sensor, circuit high bank 1. So possible causes here: faulty air intake temperature sensor, dirty air filter again, intake air temperature sensor harness is open or shorted, intake air temperature sensor poor electrical connection. Okay, so this is giving us an idea what I might have done. So let's go out to the car, and what we're looking at is the the air intake temperature sensor or airflow meter or the air filter. Somewhere around that area we're looking for a problem. Let's go take a look. Okay, here's your air filter. This will be your airflow meter. Oh look, it's been unplugged. Let's plug that back in. Now we've cured the problem, but we still got the code. Okay, so what I'm going to do, let's read the codes again. And as you can see, there's still 2 codes there. Just turn the engine off, put the ignition on.
Recording start.
And then we're going to go down and we're going to erase the codes. So what we're saying: clear, reset, emission related diagnostic information. Are you sure? Yes, I am sure. Please turn ignition on with engine off. Please enter any key to continue. Emission related diagnostic information has been cleared. So let's just check it has. Read the codes. No fault codes. Let me just and there we go. Got no more codes coming up there. It's all clear. I do need to put some screen wash in before anyone mentions it. But there we go. So predominantly the things that you would use is the OBD2. You might use the battery as well, just to check your battery, and the DTC lookup. These units are $249. It's a small unit. It'll easily fit in your glove box or in one of your door cards. And I would honestly say to you that if you're serious about 4-wheel driving or touring, really this should be becoming part of your toolkit. You should have one of these. Minimum I'd go for is the 9000. Now there are VW dedicated, and there are Ford dedicated ones which will give you more power. You can also go with the cheaper options of the ones that are a little dongle that you just plug in and they pair with your phone. But that means that your phone's got to be charged. You've got to have a phone with you. This is just a better way of doing it. It's far more robust, less likely that this will get damaged. It's got a good silicone case on it. Yeah, it's not a bad device. For the money, certainly is good, does the job. So my advice to you, anyone that's looking to purchase a scan tool, get onto Autophix Australia's website. And have a look at their range. As I say, they have scanners there ranging from the Bluetooth dongles, the ones that just attach the plug-in, and then you connect them to your phone, to the 9150 or any other dedicated scanner for the VWs, or anything in between. My advice to you would be probably the minimum would be to go for the one that I've just shown you, because that one's going to be universal across the range of vehicles that you might own. If you've got a Ford, then maybe push the boat out. I think the 9150 is about $329, but it does give you dedicated features that will only be for Ford, which might be useful to you. Certainly from my point of view, what I use is 4Scan. 4Scan is very powerful, gives me everything that I need. However, it's bulky to carry around. It's a laptop with a lead. You know, it's time consuming, and you really do need to know what you're doing with it, because you can adjust PIDs and all sorts of other things which can cause you problems down the track. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. As I say, I'll put a link on the description to Autophix's website. There are various suppliers around the country. I know ARB in Victoria, at Hoppers Crossing, Extreme 4x4, different places where you can get these, or go in and view to see what they're like. Anyway, catch you next time. Thank you.